Hello. My name's 𝗟𝗶ဖိ𝗸𝘀, the narrative and voice director at Sunscorched Studios, and I'd like to let you know that we have something in store for all of you. Something to play while waiting for Dead Space Remake. Yes, indeed. A brand new, free, playable public build. You might have already seen that we put out a bunch of new content over the last few months with audio logs and even a trailer for something called 𝗟𝗶ဖိ𝗸𝘀𝘀, Emergency Room. We'll give you some context as to what that is, how it relates to the main game we are still pursuing, why we decided to create a smaller game first, and what our plans are going forward. First things first, let's talk about other entries in the horror genre. Many of you are waiting with great anticipation for 𝗟𝗶ဖိ𝗸𝘀𝘀 since 2019, and some of you even prior. The Callisto Protocol and the Dead Space Remake are both being released, and they were announced later than that. We are completely with you there. We would have loved to bring you the main game as fast as these two, but as a new indie team, we have some limitations we'd like to discuss. 1. Team size. At the moment, our team consists of 8 people working full-time and some freelancers we commission work from on occasion. Even those 8 people have only been full-time since August 2022. Before then, we were either working part-time or in our free time, which slowed the process down a lot. 2. Budget. To develop our first vertical slice we presented to publishers in 2022, we had less than 1% of what big AAA titles have at their disposal. This meant having to be very careful with our spending. Our patrons are very graciously supporting us with their hard-earned money, and we are thankful for that, truly. But we wanted to put it into perspective here to give proper insight into our development efforts. With all that established, why did we decide to use our limited resources to create 𝗟𝗶ဖိ𝗸𝘀𝘀 Emergency Room, and why does it look so different from what we have shown you so far? The answer lies within the last year of us pitching 𝗟𝗶ဖိ𝗸𝘀𝘀 to publishers. As we kept hearing people liked the game but didn't want to take the risk with such an inexperienced team, a team that had not yet shipped a full title together, we grew more and more sure that we would have to do this on our own. Later in the year, we thankfully found an investor that was willing to support us, albeit with a more limited budget than what we had predicted 𝗟𝗶ဖိ𝗸𝘀𝘀 would cost to make. After a lot of internal discussions, we updated our patrons with the news that we'd be going forward with creating Emergency Room. It would function as a prequel to the main game and showcase how impressive our gore, characters, and environments could look and sound. We wanted to show that we could indeed pull off the more ambitious systems and immerse the player in our detailed setting and narrative. Emergency Room would function as our first published title as well as a tech demo for the new Unreal Engine 5 upgrade and testing playground for us to develop the more complex medical and gore systems needed for 𝗟𝗶ဖိ𝗸𝘀𝘀. This includes testing and improving our accessibility options and best way to optimize our games going forward, as well as getting feedback on controls, design, etc. The community feedback we can get with an early access title that is offered for free is very valuable to us and will help improve both Emergency Room and future games. It's all well and good, but what about the main game? Emergency Room is completely first-person and plays in a single room to keep development costs low. 𝗟𝗶ဖိ𝗸𝘀𝘀𝘀 will remain a third-person survival horror with elements of first-person gameplay. We always wanted to make 𝗟𝗶ဖိ𝗸𝘀𝘀𝘀, and Emergency Room is our effective stepping stone to the larger production. Emergency Room will be in early access and will periodically receive new updates. These updates will range from simple patches such as more accessibility options, bug fixes, or performance improvements, to whole operations full of new content and characters. In addition, we'll keep releasing audio logs and other content to flesh out the world of 𝗟𝗶ဖိ𝗸𝘀𝘀𝘀. Each mission and story update will bring us closer to the events that form the beginning of 𝗟𝗶ဖိ𝗸𝘀𝘀𝘀. You will witness the descent into chaos and madness as the voyage turns into a nightmare. Choices you make during operations carry their own consequences that can affect available resources as well as patient and staff interactions. This is a lengthy update, but we feel a necessary one. We want to be as transparent as possible with our fans and the larger public. We're by far not the only indie team in this kind of situation, but we are fortunate enough to be able to bring you a small taste of what we want to create in the future now, by giving you the tutorial mission and the first introductory mission. We hope you enjoy Emergency Room, which you can download in less than 24 hours, hint hint, and stay along with us for the ride. We are looking forward to eventually bringing you the full game we've been passionate about since all the way back in 2019 and beyond that. when we were just a bunch of students and freelancers experimenting with Unreal Engine. For now, enjoy your brief taste of professional malpractice, and don't forget, your survival is unlikely.